This is a big, expansive, highly detailed map. It's pretty cool. The general layout and everything reminds me a lot of the second last, the 29th map of Scythe. Also kind of a big open city-like area with a lot of nasty things to run into. This took me a few tries to do. Not enough to make me get mad enough to figure things out with saves. You know, saves first and then do proper runs. So I'm still sort of at this point I know the way through most of the stage, but not quite to the end. Okay, so at the very first, it breadcrumbs you pretty obviously to the the chain gun and then the rocket launcher. And then it sort of leaves you to your own devices. I want next to go up this building to the right, this elevator here, and get the super shotgun. But I probably should have been more conscientious about killing the flying brains first, because this is kind of exposed. This is kind of bad. It could have been a lot worse. And then I got blocked by that guy. Then I got blocked by another flyer here. You can't see him, but there's fireball just came down. Really, this has gone just terribly. But there's a berserk pack that we can use to reset. So the structure of this map's pretty open, pretty non-linear. There's a couple of different keys in various places that each take a certain amount of effort to get to, and have a certain amount of nastiness once you get there. I'm trying to just get the overall situation under control before I approach any of them. This guy's finally mad at those guys, but I kill him anyway, because I'm smart. I've still been experimenting with broad routes through this part of the level. This is the first time I just ran over this way with right after grabbing the super shotgun and triggering that big imp ambush, which turns out to be a pretty good idea because it gets them to kind of stack up and make themselves easy pickings for the rocket launcher. And 2 rockets and 3 super shotgun shells to kill that guy. And then this asshole takes 3 rockets without dying. I'm just having terrible luck with killing things. So then I realize, oh, I'm missing a great opportunity there. Very efficient way to kill imps. This stage isn't going to stop being obnoxiously chaotic anytime soon, but it's the main area is largely under control now. So you can go up this elevator again, jump off it a different way to get the plasma rifle and some extra ammo, which is what I do next, I think. Yeah. The lowered accuracy on the new chain gun sometimes ticks me off. It's a pretty nothing encounter for such a good weapon. I guess it's your reward for coming here. But you can't go back the way you came, you have to go up the elevator again. Kind of a pain. Going up here isn't strictly necessary, but there's cells there's cells there, and cells are always great to have. And there's nothing terribly dangerous here either. It's an opportunity to clear out some jerks, but I don't really have the patience to commit to it. So I just leave. This is a mistake here, getting the blur artifact. This next encounter involves a spider demon, which, you know, the blur artifact's great against chain gunners, but there's so many of these fucking regular arachnotrons, and they're actually much more of a problem than the spider demon is. Like, ordinarily you can just stream their plasma, but when half the time they just leave you, it fucking sucks. This goes terribly. If you're lucky, you can just grab the key and get out quickly, but this time the fucking spider demon never got off it, and now it's among the middle of everything. It just... I didn't handle this very well, but I also had some bad rolls of the dice. Anyway, if I hadn't beat the level on this run, I wouldn't have gotten the blur artifact again. I would have just left it. See, look at this shit. This is not helping. Would have taken approximately none of those hits without it. Anyway, whatever, I survived. And there's quite a bit of health in the nearby areas, so it's whatever. But it would have been nice to take a little more from that megasphere. So the next major battle is one of the trickier parts of the map. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Oh, right. Deciding if I want to actually pick up all that ammo. Saving the cells. It's a bit greedy, because I don't think I ever end up actually coming back, but whatever. So this dumps a lot of skeletons on you all at once. But fortunately, it also gives you a BFG to deal with it. A bit risky to dive in there like that. I kind of got lucky. There's a certain point that using the BFG is more hazardous than using more modest weapons, just because it encourages you to get close. So, you know, once things have thinned out, you know, switch to something else. Probably. Well, actually, I have so many cells. There's 2 more packs there. It's like I could have just BFG'd all these assholes together in one shot, but I don't think about it. It's easy enough to kill them with the super shotgun, so I just do. Burn some ammo, I guess. Oh yeah, since I realize I'm gonna, fill up now. So just 1 key left. It's kind of the nastiest one. It's got some cool encounters. I like the fight with the archvile halfway up, although I end up just paving over it this time. And there's kind of a fun fight against some revenants. And then it dumps a bunch of the flying squid brains on you, which kind of sucks, actually. I don't really care for those guys. Especially in a big open area like this. It's just a hassle. But at that point, you've got everything. You can just leave the map. I know this now, but I wasn't fully sure about everything at this point. So I'm just trying to clean up a little, because I don't know how exposed I'm going to be when I go up the buildings to do the last part. So I want to get rid of any snipers I can at this point, because I don't know when I will and won't be exposed to them. And things are calm enough that I'm perfectly at my liberty to do so. I think I'm even going to take out those guys on top of that building. If I were to do it again, I'd probably just stay up here in the first place until I'd gotten everything. But whatever. Make some of the later parts a little calmer. That's probably a mistake that I didn't. I have to say, maps like this with a lot of highly placed snipers and large sight lines and stuff, I find kind of aggravating. Now I'm remembering the what I saw earlier. Yep, there it is. I haven't, I've never gotten that invulnerability before. I don't know what's through the, but it just takes you right back to where you were. So cool. I mean, I can use it for this next battle. I kind of figured this is what would happen. And this next battle is quite dangerous, so it's fine to use the invulnerability on it. If I were thinking smarter to do it again, I'd probably try to use the invulnerability on the blue key part, just because that's an opportunity to save a gigantic amount of health and really make the whole level a lot easier if you could run there in time, which I think you pretty much could. So yeah, if anyone's taking notes to play this WOD themselves, use the invulnerability to get the blue key instead. That would be the hot ticket. Because, I mean, that fight I just did was, I mean, I just sort of paved over it, but it was some hit scanners, an arch file. You know, it's a pretty fun one if you don't just pave over it. Kind of got regrets there. So, there's like a shitload of these guys floating around now. This is a hassle, frankly. I don't like this. I don't think it's fun. But it's whatever. He also doesn't, I think on purpose, he doesn't force you to fight it out. I don't think he even intended you to. It's just, you know, giving you something to run away from as you leave. In that sense, it's kind of cool, kind of cinematic. Yeah, no, fuck it. Not worth it. Good map overall, though. I have more compliments than complaints.